Right, that's not going to work. Hi everybody. So I'm doing something I've not done before. I'm making a video, and I hope it works because you've got to upload the video to YouTube, and I'm not sure if that's going to work or not. But let me give it a go. Reason I'm making a video is I found live streaming quite weird. You know, you got people dropping in and out. You've got questions that I couldn't see or comments I couldn't see because of the sunlight. Also, you're making stupid little jokes and you don't really get any feedback. So actually that can be quite strange. But I'm lying in bed now in Vung Tau. Got the not so orange walk t-shirt on. Thanks again to Julia and the kids for getting that. I love it. So I just thought I'd talk a bit about the walk and what happened and why it happened and all that kind of crap. I'm actually waiting for Julia and the kids to come. They're on the way from Ho Chi Minh, so they should get here about 6:30. No, can't wait. So how did the walk start? Right. So as I mentioned, I was made redundant from my job, and I was really concerned about how I was going to fill the time and how it's going to impact me mentally. And one of the things, I set myself some targets. I'm not going to go into all of them, but two of the targets one was getting off these antidepressants I've been taking for 9 years, and the other one was getting back to some level of fitness. I was reasonably fit when I first came to Ho Chi Minh, but lifestyle took over, and I'm not naturally a guy that goes to the gym and all that kind of stuff. I hate it. So what I was doing, taking the girls to the school bus and then just going for walks. And walks is all, like I said, I think walks has always been my thing. And I was finding I could walk quite far, even you know, in the warm mornings. I could get quite far and get back. And the idea started to form in my head about doing something different. And that idea became walking from Ho Chi Minh to Vung Tau. I think I'd mentioned it to Julia, but I'd never really said that much. And Mia goes to a coding class, and there's a little pub beside the coding class, and I managed to sneak in a few more pints than I usually do by the time she finished. And I came home and said at the dinner table, right, that's it, I'm going to walk to Vung Tau. They all looked at me like, what's wrong with me? And Faye, my youngest, started crying. And I'm not quite sure if that was with joy, to be honest. But she started crying, and of course, if she'd been upset, I would never have done it. But once we explained to her that it wasn't dangerous, or that I was coming back, and she seemed to buy into the idea, and I had committed myself to doing something that I never thought I would do. And I don't know why I chose Vung Tau. Maybe I think it's the nearest coastal town. I guess it is, but it's also something that I did that. I don't know anybody else that's done it. I'm sure there has been. I'm perfectly sure. A lot of people cycle it, but I don't know. I don't know of any other people that have walked it. So it's something that I thought I could do, and say, well, I've done it and you've not. You know, just get a little bit of smugness around me. So I set a target of 200 subscribers on YouTube. I've got no idea why that target was set. It just set. And it actually got to 232. And honestly, it made a difference to not only the people on YouTube, but the people on Facebook, and people who were texting me along the way, people who were checking in on me, people who were following me on the map and letting me know that I'd taken the wrong turning. All of it made a massive difference. And really the biggest difference was once I said I could do it, I couldn't turn back. I had to achieve it. At times it was really tough, and I think if I was to do something like this again, I would actually have to put a lot more thought into it. It wasn't planned, if you know what I mean. For example, I think March is the hottest month in South Vietnam. I also knew I had the problem with my toes, and I really should have gone to a specialist and seen about that, and probably gone to a specialist in terms of footwear to make sure that I got the appropriate footwear, because these hiking boots just didn't work for me at all. but fortunately my Skechers carried me through. So I think that there's things that I would have done differently, but at the same time, I couldn't. Once I started, there was no way I was going to turn back. There was times where I felt like giving up, especially once I got the ferry into Vungtau. It was another 6.5 kilometres from the ferry to the hotel. That I would say the last 3 kilometres of that was just horrible. I just wanted to get out of the sun and get off my feet. And I did think at some point, about 2 kilometres ago, I was sitting on a wall and I thought, I'm just going to get a Grab, which is a taxi to those who don't know. It's the equivalent of Uber in the UK or overseas. But I said, no, I can't. I wouldn't be able to face my kids if I didn't finish it. So fortunately, willpower took over and I managed to get there. I talked a bit about work and what happened with my job. I want to make it clear, right, that the good that I gained out of Arup is much better than what happened in the end. I'm really proud to have worked for Arup, and I'm really proud to have reached a director level in Arup. I had 10 good years there. I think the company let themselves down a bit. We have a succession planning meeting every year, and it takes place in January. And at that meeting, the boss asked me to stay to September 2025, and I said no. That I think 31st of March 2025 is the right time. That it was over 10 years, and I knew that I was done with the role, but I just wanted to have one last push to get some things in place in the company that would leave it in a better state for the successor. But unfortunately, there was a change in management, and that agreement was actually minuted. So it should, in my opinion, it should have been honoured. But there was a change in manager, and that's what happens. Life goes on. There's no point in crying about it. I knew I'd had enough of the job. I think I still have something to offer the company in another role, but it wasn't to be. And if I was to waste my time being angry, I would be stupid, because, like I say, we had 10 good years, and it's certainly the good far outweighs the bad. And I'm really grateful that I got the 10 years in the company. I did go on a bit about toxic employees, and I got myself pretty wound up on that one, I think. But I really feel strongly about it, right? I think we're all getting paid by our company, so those of us at work. And I think no matter what your personal feelings towards people are, is if you're prepared to take the money and you're prepared to fund your life and your family's life out of that money, then do the right thing by the company. I've always felt that. And if you don't like it, then piss off, right? I mean, do something else. If you think you should be doing something else, or you think you can do better, go for it, But don't go in and undermine people. Don't go in and undermine what the company's trying to achieve. Do your best, and if you're not doing that, then actually your value to the company is diminished, and possibly you're hurting the company. So I would like to appeal to all of you out there who are behaving like that to change it, and to take a look at yourselves and say, okay, I either accept this, I make the most of it, I do my best, or really I have to move on and do something else. I doubt anybody will do that, right? But that's what I really feel. And honestly, I would like to think now, at this stage of my life, that if I was feeling that I was working in that kind of way, or that I wasn't giving it 100%, that I would be honest enough to say, okay, time to move on. So I think for me, it was just that was actually, I didn't know how much that was inside me, how I felt so strongly about that. But definitely, there was times that I really felt undermined not within this role, actually, within the role I was doing. And I don't think I appreciated how much it was getting to me until I could step back and look in the rear view mirror and say, wow, the people, I'm not going to say who were really impacting my life in a negative way, and I don't think that's a really good way for people to remember you, right? So we'll move on from that because I don't want to get into a rant about toxic employees again. I think one of the things that I said at the outset of the journey, or even prior to it, when I sort of put up posts on LinkedIn or Facebook about doing this, was that I wanted to talk about mental health, and I really didn't get around to it very much. I think I've always been pretty open about the fact that I had issues with depression ever since I was a teenager, on and off. Fortunately, it's never debilitated. I'd say once it did debilitate me when I was living in China, in Shanghai, maybe 2008. But that was really a short-term thing, maybe about 6 months. But I've always been really open about it, right? And I think the reason I've been really open about it is because it's like the last taboo, right? I remember, as a kid, and, somebody gets sick with cancer and your mum would go, they got cancer, they would whisper it, it's like by saying it that it was a curse, right? And I think mental health is like that now. I think people don't understand it. They laugh at it. They see it as being a weakness, whereas it's just an illness, like any other kind of illness, right? And last time I googled it, there's over 300 different kinds of diagnosed mental illness, and some of them that you wouldn't think were mental illness, right? So things like addiction. And we tend to write people off, right? We sort of look at him, he's whatever, right? We laugh at them, right? But we don't think about what they're going through. We don't think about what's causing those issues. We don't think about how they feel about it themselves. But if they had any other kind of illness, we would be much more sympathetic. And it's quite ironic because I think mental illness touches us all, because the statistic is 1 out of 5 people would say they suffer from. Oh, sorry. The statistic is that 1 out of 5 will suffer. I think suffer is the wrong word, but will experience depression at some time in their life. Right? And depression's one of the milder ones, probably. You get really bad depressions, obviously. But for over 300 types of mental illness, and I think the difference between mental illness and physical illness is that where physical illness can often be treated with medication, mental illness requires some sort of self-recognition and some sort of self-help, where you actually have to do something about it, where you probably have to be more proactive in terms of seeking a cure and getting a positive outcome. But all of us shouldn't judge, and all of us should really watch out for each other. And I think the most dangerous thing is that we can never try and diagnose somebody, right? Because none of us are qualified unless we're medically qualified. But we can see things like changes in behaviour, changes in attitude. There's all sorts of signs. I think I myself, over the last 10 years, this is not a lot, but 3 people I've but suggested that they get some kind of counselling because you could see a change in their behaviour. It doesn't make me a saviour. It just means that maybe because of my own experience that I'm a little bit. Maybe I'm just aware. Maybe I just can. Maybe I just think about it when I see changes in people, and just sort of have just say, "Look, are you okay?" and make sure that they have somebody to talk to if that's what they really need. So I think just be more tolerant of it, guys, and be more aware of it, and be much less quick to judge. Unfortunately, I had I had some notes, right? But if I stop notes, if I stop to look at my notes at my headings, it stops the video, and I've got no, and it doesn't let you restart it. So the other things I want to say, just like the live streams, I can't quite remember. I'll go back to the name, the Not So Orange Walk, which was based on my experience of growing up, where there was a big Catholic Protestant divide, which was just absolutely ridiculous. But as I say, every time the word walk comes in, then I associate it with the Orange Walk. And I guess I was just trying to have a little play on words and just laugh at how ridiculous this any form of bigotry is, right? But certainly for me, the one that I grew up with was religious bigotry, and it just absolutely pathetic. So I like the title. I love the songs that I was singing at the start. You know, they're really catchy little tunes, but I'm not so sure about the words. I guess what else was I going to say? Would I do this again? Not the same walk, definitely not. I've done it, but if I was supported by my family, and if I feel the need to achieve something, then yeah, I think I would. I don't know what I would do. Maybe Hanoi to Halong Bay would be a potential one. Although me and my friend Stephen are talking about doing one in Spain, I can never remember the name of it next year, so that's a possibility. There's other goals that I'm going to have to set myself. Certainly, I've decided, although I've never said that I wouldn't go back to work, but certainly this was a test of my willpower in a way. I still think I've still got something to offer in the workplace. So one of the outcomes of my thoughts is being more proactive in terms of looking for new work now. I'm a bit reluctant to go through the whole application, interview, all that kind of stuff, and then all the politics and proving yourself and all that kind of stuff, and that's held me back from doing it up until now. But I think I want to set an example to my girls. I don't want them to think it's okay for me not to work. I think they've got to see me as still contributing in some way. So what kind of work, I think, is a different issue. Everybody says, well, do volunteer work or whatever, but it's not that easy to do. And in terms of getting acceptance into volunteer work, but it doesn't mean that there's other things that you can't do. It's not got to be all about money now. I think there's maybe doing something that contributes a bit more would be a good thing to do. But I need to talk a bit more to Julia about it. But it's definitely the walk has made me realise that I still need goals and objectives, and I'm just not ready yet to stop. But there's many ways you can have those goals and objectives, so I need to talk it through with Julia, and she's usually got some good ideas. Well, there was something else that just crossed my mind, and it's just gone again. Shit. What was it? No, I can't remember. It's hopeless without the notes. So it's certainly been a journey, guys. In no way the most difficult walk in the world. It's all flat ground. It was long, I would say, and for 3 days it was certainly a push. But I'm sure there's a lot tougher things out there to do. I enjoyed doing it on my own because it just gave me time to think, but I really loved the company from people on the way. I'm proud of myself. I hate saying that because it sounds a bit arrogant, but it is. I feel I've achieved something, and now I'm staying in this really nice hotel room, waiting for the family to come down for the weekend. I ate a really big breakfast this morning, which actually made me feel quite sick all day. I don't know why. Maybe it was just after all the heat and things, but it's only now that I'm beginning to feel a bit better. But I'm proud of it, and I'm glad I did it, and I'm really so grateful for the support along the way. Oh yeah, that was the other thing. Julia's mentioned, will I keep using the channel? What will happen to the channel after it? And the question is, I don't know, right? The channel's, I'm not sure. It's people who make a living out of YouTube are pretty amazing, actually, right? There must be some amount of determination to build a channel. It take these guys like the guy who I mentioned, who's my neighbour with 11 million subscribers. I mean, to achieve that, the amount of effort, the amount of patience, and the amount of determination he had to get there is incredible. But I might keep using the channel. I might. I don't know. I'm always a bit nervous of creating a social media footprint, because some of my views may not be in the most mainstream. But yeah, maybe I'll talk about things that are interested in, or that I think are funny, or that I feel that I've got to call something out. I don't know yet. But definitely I'm not a natural YouTuber. I think my age is showing there. So with that, I've got an hour till they come, so I've got to go and get everything ready, get the room tidied up, get myself tidied up. But I just want to say a big thanks to those that supported me along the way, listened to my crap, encouraged me. It's been a great it's been a really great boost to how I'm feeling about myself as a person. And now I've got my Matt and Gemma, my friends Matt and Gemma. They're doing a 300-kilometer cycle. So those who know, they're looking for sponsorship. I'm too selfish to do sponsorship. Matt and Gemma need sponsorship, guys. So make sure you get your wallets out and let's support them. Thanks again, and it's been great having your company, and hopefully we'll talk soon. Bye.